So let me just quickly take us to oh, I was looking for UCAD, and then if afterwards, if we have time, then we can look at possibly GChef or GJ or and one of the NZD tests. Okay, quickly. So let me take off everything. Like we always do. Are we there?
Your network is very bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So like we always do. To actually know what the total market behavior, what we do is we need to start with the higher time frame, and so we go to our monthly, and then we see how the market is behaving. So when we go to the monthly, okay, this is how the market is behaving. Okay, and if we look at the last for in 2015, or even let's look at here, the lowest it came was in 207. Then somewhere in the 2011, and in the recent years, let's look at here. Let's look at this one. It was what, September 2017. That was when it went so low. So now let's start with our markup. We put a horizontal array here. Or even better still, let's start from here. Let's start from when we had the lowest, and then when we had the highest here in the recent times, and then we move to weekly. Because if you look at here, I mean, let's try measuring. Okay, see, from here to here, we are looking at 747 what pips. Okay, yeah, to drop to the September 2017 low, and the question is, are we going to get there? Because if you look at it, when it last got to that point, see, when it last got here, the last time it tried coming was in the February 2018. It couldn't, and then it went back. Then April, it tried the same thing 2018. Then here, October 2018, it tried. It couldn't, and then it went back. And even here was what, December 2019. It tried. It couldn't, but now see where we are now in the November 2020. Okay, that was when it broke this low. Hold on, no, nah.
Sure.
Second, why see they call me? Yes. Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
So now what we do is, I mean, if you look at this, there's nothing we can do again. Okay, we cannot draw a trend line from here. You see, the first thing that we could have done was to draw a trend line from here. But even here, this candle has not finished. This very candle is not finished. It's not closed yet. So even when we draw a trend line, it wouldn't be valid. You get it? The other trend line we could have drawn was here. But because we could have drawn this trend line, broken. And line just replaying.
Sure.
And so I take this one off. Now I want us to move into the weekly. Now if we look at the weekly, let's refresh, reset, and see what is happening. Okay. So in weekly, this is how it is looking. Now let's look at this. You see that from here, there was a trend here. There
Sure.
was a trend here,
Sure.
and it got broken here. It got broken at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So still, I wouldn't want to draw that trend and then go to. Let me go to the daily time frame. That's where we could excellent, excellent. So see, when we come into the daily, that's where we see things clearer. Now we have a trend here, from here to here. You see, you initially it was like this. You see, initially this is how it was,
Yeah.
and then look at this. It was doing things like this. It was doing things like it, and now it broke here. It broke this trend as if going back, and then what? It started going down again. You get it? So now this becomes clear drawing the clear drawing. Okay. So now this become our actual drawing. I say our actual trend. Uh, Fantastic. This is our actual trend. Okay, and this is how it's looking like. We have
Sure.
correction here.
Sure.
We have the correction here.
Sure.
We have a correction here. See, and now it's continue. Now the question we're going to ask ourselves, okay, is what is the probability of it getting to this point? Because we have a low here, we have a low here. You see, and it stands a chance of getting to even here.
That's true. Wow. That's
It stands
1.22.
a chance of, yes, coming here or coming here, coming here. You see, now if you accidentally or what you think, oh, looking at what is happening, it's reversing upwards. You might be wrong, and you would enter, and then what? You will find yourself what wanting. Now, what you have to do is, like we always say, we wait for what? A strong what?
Impulse.
Breakout
A breakout. Yeah.
or impulse. Once we get a stronger impulse and we see a correction, then we can assume that what? We are either going upwards or the downward trend is still continuing. Now let's look at the 4-hour time frame. You see, when we go into the 4-hour time frame, see, we have our correction here. We had a correction here, or we had a flag here.
Sure.
Okay. And then what happened? We got
Broke down.
a continuation. Now, see, this candle, if this very candle, if it had gone above this, if it had gone above here, this drawing to
Annotate bar.
if
Good.
it had gone if it had gone above here, then we can assume that what we are going we are a reversal.
Reversal.
When we go to when we go to the trend line or the flag, and then what happened? It went down again. and then it started creating wedge over here. Now the question we ask ourselves is, still, are we going up, or we're going to have what, a continuation? Let's go to the 1 hour time frame, and then it will give us a, you see. So see, we can even pull our tip starting from here, and then see. This is where it ended. Okay, these
Sure.
are one retrace. This is 0.61. Now, just when it went about the 61,
It dropped.
see what the curve is doing exactly, and then it is consolidating. This is not the time to enter into this market, because where it's sitting now, the tendency of its reversal is there, and then the tendency of what it's going down is also there.
Sure, sure.
Oh, Nana, so into there. Yeah, when we go into the 30-minute time frame, okay, look at what is happening in there. You can see that there's a flag being formed here. You see, and that is the reason why we say that it is not ready for us to enter into this market. Now, you see, the best time that one could have entered, assuming that it was going up, was here. At this point, one could have entered thinking that it was going up, because when it got here and then it reversed, what happened? It couldn't go beyond this line. Here's the line. You see, it couldn't go. This side couldn't go below. We have it here. We have this. You get it? So anyone who could have entered here, okay, thinking it was going to buy, would have been safe. But now, as it is here, you cannot enter here, because when you assume that it's going to buy here, it can reverse and hit you. If you also assume that it's going to sell here, if you assume it's going to sell here, okay, it can also reverse, because the tendency for you to come up here is also high. Okay, so as it is now, it is no good time to enter. Okay, we can even have this. Look at this. We can even have this.
Expanding. Okay.
You get it? So we can have this. We had this. We can have this, and it is like this, and then it continues. And that is the reason why I'm saying that it is not the best time to enter a sell here, because see, if you want to enter a sell here, let me just clear this so you can see it better. See, let's assume this is the trend, or yes, this is the flag. Now, if you enter a sell here, okay, if you enter a sell here, it can reverse to this point and take you off.
Sure, sure.
It can get to this point and take you off. You see, so now the best time for us to think maybe we're going to have a sell, we can do this. We can place even the sell limit here, or we can place a sell limit here at this point, and then put our stop loss here. Here, this side becomes our stop loss. So in case it reverses upwards into a buy, at least you would have just thrown, let me just see how much you would have shared.
The pips.
Yes. So from here to here, you would have shared 27 pips. Okay. If you have enough and then you are ready to take a higher risk, you can share up to, let me see, 54 pips. You get it? Because the moment the trend, it moves, okay, the moment it crosses this and then it crosses this point, then the tendency of we getting a reversal is high.
Yeah.
You get it? Oh. Okay. We're seeing this and we're going to see this. If we got a break and then retest and go down, but it could also be like this. It could go up again before it continues down, depending on what the dollar is what doing. Did you want to ask a question?
Joe, do you want to ask a question? You can unmute yourself and go ahead. I don't think so. You can go ahead. So there's a question that Joe wanted to find out, like where to place the stop loss. Let's take a buy and a sell situation.
Okay, so let's assume, okay, based on what is happening, we are anticipating a buy. Okay, now for me, what I've said is I usually don't jump into a trade. Okay, most of the time, Joe, can you hear me? Most of the time, I do not jump into a trade.
I can hear you.
A buy or a sell. Yes, I do not jump into a buy or sell. This is what I do. Let me even take off all these noise, and then let's assume we have a free day and we want to go, and now the anticipation is what is going to sell. Now this is what you're going to do. If you are selling from here, this point, your SL is going to be somewhere here. This is your sell SL. Why? You see, let's assume, because we are assuming that it is going to go up. Now, like we always say, anytime you are selling or buying, there would always be a bit of retracement. Now, when you start the buy here at this point and it retraces, the worst case scenario, okay, it would get to this point, exactly the edge of this side, the edge here. Now, it will not go below. The moment it goes below the last lowest point, the previous low, then the tendency for it to reverse is high. Okay, so if you are buying here, your SL should be somewhere here or even here, this point. The moment it goes below this point, then we have a reversal. It's no longer a buy. You have to go out and then wait and see what happened again.
So always you look at the previous or your left hand side to check on the previous low. So you place your stop loss if you are going on a high.
or the previous high if you are going on sell.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Joe,
Hey Joe. Joe, are you okay? Don't worry, we'll catch up.
okay. So for me, this is what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing something like this. And then a possible drawdown again. Before finally, okay, if we go as planned, then what will happen is we're going to see a major reversal at this. Let me go to this uh, time frame, the daily time frame. I like always to play in the higher time frame.
Mr. Swing Trader.
I've learned a big lesson. Okay, yeah. So look at it, and that's why I'll put my horizontal array here, and wait to see what happens at here. Here, the worst case scenario will be here. The worst case scenario will be here. Okay. Yes. Tell them. Let me take the end card also, and then show you what